Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a controversial and often hidden aspect of international relations, spying on allies. While espionage between rival nations is expected, the idea that countries spy on their own allies can be shocking to many. However, history has shown that even nations who cooperate on economic, military, or political fronts may secretly gather intelligence on one another to protect their own interests. In this episode, we'll explore why governments spy on their allies, some of the most infamous cases, and the impact this covert surveillance has on international relations. Let's dive into the world of espionage among friends. Why do nations spy on allies? The practice of spying on allies is often driven by national security and strategic interests. Even though two countries might share common goals, their individual priorities and long-term interests can differ. Governments often spy on their allies to gain insight into economic policies, military plans, or diplomatic negotiations. By gathering intelligence, they aim to protect their own interests and avoid being blindsided by decisions made behind closed doors. For example, in economic negotiations or trade deals, countries may try to gather intelligence to gain leverage. This kind of espionage allows nations to anticipate their allies' moves and secure better terms. Similarly, during military operations, an ally's true intentions or future strategies might not always be fully transparent, prompting one nation to conduct surveillance to ensure its own security. Famous cases of allies spying on each other. One of the most infamous cases of spying on allies involves Operation Echelon, a global surveillance network operated by the United States and other members of the Five Eyes Intelligence Alliance, including the UK, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. Although designed to monitor enemy communications during the Cold War, it was revealed that Echelon was also used to spy on the communications of allied governments, private companies, and even citizens. Another significant case was the revelation that the U.S. National Security Agency, NSA, had been spying on European Union leaders, including German Chancellor Angela Merkel. Leaked documents by whistleblower Edward Snowden in 2013 showed that the U.S. had wiretapped Merkel's phone and conducted widespread surveillance on European allies. This revelation caused a major diplomatic rift between the U.S. and its European allies, sparking outrage and leading to calls for greater privacy protections. The UK, too, has engaged in surveillance of its allies. In 2015, it was revealed that the UK's intelligence agency GCHQ had spied on foreign leaders at G20 meetings, including representatives from countries that were considered close allies. These surveillance efforts were aimed at gaining insights into trade negotiations and diplomatic strategies. The impact of spying on international relations. When espionage between allies is exposed, it can lead to a serious breakdown in trust and diplomatic relations. Allies depend on each other for cooperation in areas such as military operations, trade, and intelligence sharing. When it's discovered that one country has been spying on the other, it can create tension, damage alliances, and even lead to retaliation. In the case of the NSA's surveillance of European leaders, it caused widespread outrage and resulted in a temporary cooling of relations between the US and Germany. Chancellor Merkel famously remarked that spying on friends is unacceptable, a sentiment shared by many in the international community. Despite this, the practice of spying on allies has continued, driven by the belief that understanding the full scope of an ally's plans is essential for national security. While public apologies and promises of reform often follow such scandals, the reality is that espionage between allies continues to be a tool of statecraft. Governments, while working together, also operate with the understanding that their long-term interests may not always align. Spying on allies is a controversial but common practice in international relations. While it may seem counterintuitive, nations often feel the need to gather intelligence on their closest partners to protect their own interests and ensure national security. However, when these espionage efforts are uncovered, they can have serious diplomatic consequences and erode trust between nations. If you found this exploration of spying on allies insightful, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on future content. Let us know in the comments what you think about espionage between allies, and if there are other geopolitical topics you'd like us to cover. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.